But I was saying, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? All right, let's just see if anybody rejoins and we close out properly. All right, so the work is available in digital format. So as I promised, I'm going to be sharing that digitally. So I'll send you an email with a link where you can access the workbook. We're working on getting it printed for February 18. So if you're interested in getting the workbook in physical format, please be interested in getting the workbook in physical format. It will be available for $3,500 on February 18. So those persons who are in the webinar will have the discount of the online price. So you'll get it at a cheaper rate. Okay, so I'm just trying to get the questions. Cool, cool. All right, so the other thing I want to share with you is if you're interested, I've developed a WhatsApp group for persons who might be interested. I call it Thrive Chat. If it is that you want a support community to help you in terms of accomplishing your goals, if it is that you want to focus on one specific thing or a group of things that you want to accomplish this year, then you can join that. I'll provide that in the email as well. A community of like-minded people who are working towards their goals. And so it will probably help you to have a sense of accountability. And so you'll have somebody to check in to say, hey, where are you on that? Or, you know, I don't feel like I can bother with it today, or sort of thing. I apologize again for the meeting ending. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure what happened. Okay, so nobody has any questions. Nobody has any questions. The meeting was recorded, so I'll upload it so that you can access it if you want to look over it. And I want to do the webinar, well, perhaps on a monthly basis, perhaps more often if necessary, but I'd also love to get your feedback on that. So you can just drop me a line via email. Sean is saying, oh, you're saying you're interested in the group, great. So I'll provide a link to the group shortly so that you can join it. Anybody else interested in the group? You can just wave your hand or type yes in the chat. Okay, so Jennifer is interested. Ronaldo just came back. Is there any personal development related questions that you want to ask though, in terms of your own goals or whatever it is that you're working on right now?
Yeah, I'm not about the typing life. I can't type anymore.
Sean?
Yes, here. One sec. Let me get the microphone close. All right, hear me better?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, cool. So, like the first part of the presentation spoke to me on a spiritual level because, listen, I'm the type of person I consider myself to be a talented individual, right?
Okay.
And easily adaptable. So, I consider it to be both a gift and a curse, right? In the sense that it's kind of straightforward why it's a gift. Well, I consider it to be a curse in the sense that if I'm put in any situation, I can adapt to it. But in some cases, like the previous situation that I'm in, I just completely forget it or completely just ignore altogether. So
Mm-hmm.
I consider that to be the weakness. So how would I go and to overcome that weakness part of it in a sense?
Well, I would say two things. Is it that you lack focus or you're easily distracted?
I would say something like that in a sense. Some form of drive.
Well, what I would suggest is sort of figuring out what it is that motivates you and also figuring out what are your precise strengths. That's important because we sort of focus a lot on what we're weak at, what are our weaknesses. So we are procrastinators, or we like to idle, or we're easily distracted, that sort of thing. And so, what are your strengths? Find out what those are, and then figure out how can you leverage those strengths to accomplish what it is you want to accomplish? Or
Mm.
how can you leverage those strengths to overcome the challenges or weaknesses that you actually do have? So if you focus on the strengths more than the weaknesses, it gives you a better sense of momentum
Mm-hmm.
to move forward.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, that is helpful. All right. So
So
in
there
that
are
case,
assessments though that you can do
mm-hmm.
to sort of systematically identify what your strengths are and what your motivations are if it is that you have a mental block. Because sometimes when you ask people, what are your strengths? They get lost and they start to think about it. But what are your weaknesses? And it might be a little easier to list out what the weaknesses are. And so some assessments in terms of personality assessments might be helpful in
Mm-hmm.
identifying what your strengths and motivations are. And then you can use that as a strategy to work harder on your goals or accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
I guess I need to write a list again. I had something scripted in at one point for like for interview purposes or anything like something scripted. Yeah. So
Okay, you have that.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Pick it up again and revise it. See if you've developed any new strengths or any new weaknesses, and so you can figure out what to do about those.
That seems fair. Seems fair.
So anybody else want to ask a question about their own journey or personal development? You can just unmute your mic, and or if you want to type it in, you can type it in. All right. So is a forum like this helpful though, in terms of connecting with others to talk about stuff like this? We don't typically do that, but is a forum like this helpful?
Yes, I consider it to be helpful. I consider it to be. So that's one hand raise right there.
Okay, so Ronaldo says after the presentation, all he has to do is put in the effort. Okay, that's important. That's very important because A lot of people are good at planning. That's one of my best strengths. But execution can be very challenging. And so, as I said before, it's important to find people to surround yourself with who challenge you to actually execute. So somebody who will say, hey, how you say you want to accomplish that, but you not do that. Or I don't think that should be what you're focusing on right now, that sort of thing. And so effort and execution is important. I have a thing that I say, we end up where our feet go, F-E-E-T. So feet represents our focus, our effort, our energy, and our time. So if you want to figure out where you'll end up in life, or where you will end up as it relates to the goals that you set for yourself, examine what you're focusing on and examine what you put your effort into and what consumes your energy, and also what you spend most of your time doing. So if it is that you want to accomplish X, but you spend most of your time doing Y, then that's where you will end up, Y. Or you probably just end up at Z. Who knows? Alrighty, so if we have no other questions, I just want to thank you another time for taking some time out of your schedule to share with me. And so I will follow up with an email so that you can get access to the tool and we can continue the conversation. And Ronaldo is saying one last thing. Oh, we were talking about a WhatsApp group, Ronaldo. So I'll send you the information about that. Okay, go ahead. Okay, all right, so thanks again, everybody. Thanks again. And you know where to reach me. My contact information, let me just show it one more time for those who might have missed it, so that you can get it. Okay, so there's my contact information. It's easier to get me on WhatsApp. So that 863 number 3512 is the most convenient way to get me. I am very responsive to messages. And so if you want to talk or if you want to join the group, just send me a message there and we can connect. So we are almost at the 8 o'clock time frame. So thank you again. Have a great evening and have a great time actually starting out or continuing to pursue your goals. Good night.